In 2045, humanity invented a virtual game called OASIS, which became a global sensation immediately upon release. As the founder approached death, he hid 3 keys as Easter eggs within the game. Anyone who collected all 3 keys could win $500 billion in company stock and gain control of OASIS. This prospect attracted massive numbers of players to the game daily. Within the game, players could freely change their character skins. With strong gaming skills, one could easily obtain powerful equipment. However, being killed in the game meant that all coins and equipment would be reset to 0. Clearly, staying alive was more important than anything else in the game. Some players, unable to accept the reset, even took life-threatening actions. The protagonist, Wade, was a regular player in the game. Like everyone else, he continually challenged levels daily to gather information about the Easter eggs. Besides individual players like Wade, numerous companies also participated, the most famous being a company called IOI. The stern-looking man in front of us, Nolan Sorrento, was in charge of it. In order to find the Easter eggs and gain control of OASIS, they acquired massive amounts of gaming equipment and even established a department to research the game. However, in these 5 years, no player had managed to find any keys, and the leaderboard had remained empty. After years of relentless effort, they cracked a clue and found the entrance to the first challenge. Passing through this portal would take players to the challenge arena, which was a racetrack set up by the founder. Due to its high difficulty, no one had yet succeeded in the race. Wade arrived at the track and found a good spot, then threw his customized racing car onto the ground, as the track randomly materialized in front of him. As fireworks burst into the air, the race officially began. In the game, players not only faced the risk of being hit but also had to contend with various obstacles and tracks that could break apart at any moment. Giant iron balls hurtling down rapidly and enormous Jurassic dinosaurs posed significant threats. A single misstep could mean having to start over. Along the way, King Kong would appear to sever bridges. Wade sped along in his car, and just as he was about to reach the finish line, King Kong arrived in time to block his path. Behind him, a female player named Samantha, speeding on her motorcycle, planned to fly over the finish line along the track. Despite Wade's warnings, she insisted on accelerating. Fortunately, Wade managed to grab her just in time, averting the risk of being torn apart by King Kong. However, her motorcycle was damaged. To get it repaired, Wade took her to his friend Ichi's workshop and entrusted the motorcycle to Ichi for repairs. During their conversation, they discussed the interests and hobbies of the founder, Halliday. Clearly, both knew a lot about Halliday, but Samantha felt that Wade shouldn't have stopped her earlier. After a heated discussion, each finished repairing the motorcycle. Then Samantha went offline in a hurry. That evening, Wade pondered Samantha's words that Halliday didn't like setting rules, a thought that kept lingering in his mind. Unable to sleep, Wade took out his gaming console again and visited Halliday's video archive, which housed all videos about Halliday. The video currently playing was one Wade had watched thousands of times. Yet, he never discovered any new clues, and this time was no exception. Just as he was about to leave, Wade suddenly understood what Halliday was saying in the video.
Why can't we go backwards? For once. Backwards. Really fast. Fast as we can. Really put the pedal to the metal, you know?
Go back! 10 seconds!
Why can't we go backwards? For once. Backwards. Really fast.
This time, he finally grasped the true meaning of those words. Excitedly, he returned to the racetrack. This time, both nervous and excited, Wade stayed at the starting line as the countdown ended and all other cars surged forward. Only his car remained stationary. Then, calmly shifting into reverse, he floored the accelerator. As his car was about to hit the wall, a secret passage instantly opened. Just as Wade had expected, the passage was smooth and unobstructed, free from harsh collisions and wild beasts. Thus, Wade became the first player to reach the finish line. Subsequently, Halliday's avatar appeared before Wade as hoped, and Wade successfully obtained the first key and the clue to the next task. On the leaderboard, the name Wade finally appeared as the first player, making him an overnight sensation in the game. Following this, Wade's friends also successfully completed challenges and obtained keys. However, the clue for the next task was cryptic, stating only, "A hidden key, a step not taken, can be retraced to escape the past." To unravel this clue, Wade revisited the video archive but was soon surrounded by a crowd of players, now that he was a celebrity. Fortunately, Samantha, in her new avatar, arrived just in time to rescue Wade from the crowd. Together, they went to the archive to review the footage. They discovered that Halliday had once arranged to meet his partner's wife, which surprised them both. In all the past records, Kara's name had appeared only once, the curator. However, expressed disbelief until further investigation proved Wade's claims Kara indeed appeared only in the recent footage, suggesting that Halliday intentionally deleted information about her. Wade speculated that Halliday must have had strong feelings for Kara and lost her because he never expressed his love. Thus, Kara was likely key to the second Easter egg. Convinced, the curator conceded and handed Wade a 25-cent coin. Samantha, seemingly struck by an epiphany, then arranged to meet Wade the next evening at a bar. At night Nolan Sorrento started wearing glasses to log into the game, and as he got older, remembering passwords wasn't an easy task. Nolan Sorrento then finds IR0K to cooperate with, and take out an artifact that can create a magic wall, planning to kill Wade and remove him from the leaderboard. The next night, Wade changes into the same costume as Born Eros and arrives at the bar, where fans recognized him and requested photos. Unbeknownst to him that IR0K was also present, Samantha led Wade to the dance floor, planning to complete what Halliday had once failed to achieve. This bar was established following that very date, and Kara was known as a skilled dancer. Together, they entered the dance floor to search for clues, growing closer as they danced. Wade fell for Samantha quickly. He expressed his desire to meet her offline and confessed his love for her. During their conversation, Wade even revealed his real name in the real world, which is a big taboo in the game. Samantha immediately stopped him. "You shouldn't tell anyone who you are. You can't use your real name." Wade protested. "You're not just anyone. You don't understand me." Unbeknownst to them, their conversation was being monitored by IR0K. Seconds later, a large number of IOI personnel arrived in the dance hall, shooting at them. Fortunately, under the protection of a shield, Wade narrowly escaped harm. They had to fight and retreat, but during the chaos, IR0K managed to shoot them, and their shield was deactivated. At a critical moment, Wade threw a magic cube artifact he had purchased earlier, which rewound time by 1 minute, allowing them to escape the scene. Just when they thought they were safe, Samantha suddenly kicked Wade to the ground. It turned out that Samantha had been battling IOI in the real world. Her father had died in an IOI contract center. Like her father, many others were burdened with huge debts because of the game. Wade's fixation on the game infuriated her, and after expressing her anger, Samantha left. Meanwhile, Nolan Sorrento, having learned Wade's real name through IR0K, found his identity information online, making Wade a target for IOI. When Wade prepared to log in again, he received an invitation from Nolan Sorrento. Sorrento wanted Wade to join his company, offering him advanced gaming equipment and a luxury apartment in the real world, while continuously attempting to brainwash him. However, Wade saw through Sorrento's intentions and refused to cooperate. Enraged, Sorrento dispatched a drone to plant a bomb at Wade's residence. Although Sorrento knew Wade's address, Wade's gaming base was not inside the house. As he arrived downstairs, the bomb was activated, killing Wade's aunt and her boyfriend. In a panic, Wade returned to his secret base and informed his friends in the game that he was being targeted by IOI in the real world and warned them to be cautious. No sooner had he finished speaking, a man snuck up behind him and knocked him unconscious. When Wade woke up, he realized the man had released him, and he immediately recognized that the woman before him was Samantha. Samantha brought Wade back to their base, where the man who had tied him up turned out to be a fellow resistor against IOI. This meeting marked their first face-to-face encounter offline. As they were growing closer, Samantha suddenly realized the key to the clue. "Damn, I figured it out. I know what the second clue is," she exclaimed. The answer wasn't in the dance hall. Halliday once had the opportunity to kiss Kara but never took that step. Their first date was at a movie theater. Wade then summoned all his friends, and together the four of them went to the video archive to find the curator in the movie they watched on that date, The Shining. With the curator's help, they entered the movie's plot. They successfully found the room where Kara was. Samantha bravely took the step that Halliday had hesitated to take. And finally, she reached Kara's side and spoke the words Halliday had failed to say years ago. After her declaration, Kara transformed into Halliday's avatar, and Samantha successfully obtained the second key. The clue to the third key also appeared, and changes on the leaderboard informed Nolan Sorrento that Wade was still alive. He responded by dispatching all his drones and armed personnel to attack Samantha's secret base. Seeing the attack, the pair fled to a secret passage. Samantha insisted that Wade escape first while she stayed behind to delay their pursuers. Ultimately, Samantha was captured by IOI and taken back to continue repaying her father's debts. After escaping, Wade met up with his friends Dato and Shoto, who had been informed by Samantha to meet there. Eager to rescue Samantha, each came up with a plan. She asked Wade if he remembered Nolan Sorrento's equipment details. Each planned to start with Sorrento's gear and force him to release Samantha. Meanwhile, Samantha was held captive in the contract center. where she would be shocked if she disobeyed. She was also tasked with placing explosives in the same location that was now the site for the third challenge. The challenge involved a video game console. Failure in the game would result in falling into a glacial pit. Consequently, the team worked tirelessly day and night on various games to prepare. Eventually, Nolan Sorrento called in IR-0K to activate the artifact, sealing off the entire area. When Nolan Sorrento returned to the real world, he found Wade pointing a gun at him, forcing Nolan Sorrento to reveal the whereabouts of his teammate Samantha. With the gun to his head, Nolan Sorrento had no choice but to disclose her location and identification code. After securing the information, Wade quickly left the scene, unaware that Nolan Sorrento had already fallen into their trap. Previously, Wade had memorized his account password and had his teammates hack into his gaming device, leading Nolan Sorrento to believe that he had logged out of the game. However, Nolan Sorrento was still in the game. Using the device, Wade successfully contacted Samantha, and under Wade's guidance, Samantha managed to hack the device and escape, but she didn't rush to leave. Instead, she planned to sneak into Nolan Sorrento's office quietly. By then, Nolan Sorrento had discovered the intrusion into his account. Enraged, he stormed out of his office to gather his subordinates, giving Samantha the chance to slip in and log into his account. She accessed the spell to disable the barriers, and by the time Nolan Sorrento returned to the office, Samantha had already left the place. Meanwhile, Wade in the game began broadcasting messages to all the players in the OASIS, revealing the location of the third key challenge. However, the area was already surrounded by an energy sphere set up by Nolan Sorrento, who had also exposed his evil plan to monopolize the Easter egg. Once the news spread, it instantly enraged the players. For this, Wade wanted many players to join them in fighting against the IOI Corporation. On the way, each even activated the Iron Giant. After Wade passionately delivered a pre-battle speech, a large number of players hurriedly gathered. Nolan Sorrento began to worry, while IR-0K assured him that no matter how many people came, they couldn't break the energy wall. Indeed, no matter how the players attacked, they could not break it. Meanwhile, Nolan Sorrento's team continued to crack the game, eventually successfully hacking into Adventure. Released in 1979, the first game ever to contain an Easter egg. Back in reality, Samantha, having escaped, found a device at random. She logged into the game impersonating an IOI employee and bypassed the guards. Approaching the sphere, she released a drone and recited the spell to crack the energy sphere. At that moment, IR-0K boasted that his energy wall could last for thousands of years. However, he was proven wrong the next second, as the energy wall was successfully destroyed. Wade immediately rallied his troops to attack. Instantly, both sides engaged in intense combat, and for the sake of fairness in the OASIS game, players used every trick in their arsenal to fight against IOI. However, amidst the chaos, Samantha learned that the opposition was cracking the game Adventure. She then raced to the battlefield and successfully met up with Wade. She then took a powerful weapon thrown to her by another player and effortlessly took down many enemies. Wade, in a daring move, threw out the terrifying Chucky doll. Every time an IOI character was taken out, they would immediately start swapping gear to continue the fight. In the real world, Nolan Sorrento had arranged for assassins to hunt for Wade's van, but they found nothing, as everyone on the streets was deeply engaged in the virtual games war. Seeing his forces being defeated, Nolan Sorrento summoned a mechanical Godzilla. Each charged at it, only to be knocked down with a punch and scorched by its fiery breath. As Wade tried to distract Godzilla by driving towards it, he was unexpectedly flung into the air by its tail, turning his vehicle into scrap metal. As Godzilla advanced, the long silent Dato put on his glasses and leaped from a plane. Transforming mid-air, he landed stylishly, saving his two comrades. With a powerful strike, he swiftly brought down the mechanical Godzilla, its massive body crushing many soldiers. However, Dato's transformation card was soon to expire. With only 30 seconds left, seizing his last opportunity, he leapt and struck from above, critically wounding Godzilla. However, Dato reverted to his original form, and as his opponent captured Art 3 Ms, he gave a friendly gesture before it made a heroic sacrifice. As Godzilla continued to advance towards Wade, each timely jumped onto it to cause a distraction but was promptly pulled off. Unbeknownst to them, Samantha had taken each's hand, broke the window, and saw Nolan Sorrento in the cockpit. She then threw a bomb inside, destroying Godzilla completely, and Nolan Sorrento perished with it. At that moment, IR-0K detonated ground bombs, cutting off Wade's path forward. Each, mustering all his strength, came from behind and used his body as a bridge to help Wade across safely. IR-0K immediately opened fire on them, but fortunately, Shoto threw a dart in time, severing his arm. After losing his arm, IR-0K panicked and fled the scene, but the severely injured each could no longer hold on and fell into the molten lava below. Wade and the others then rushed into the hall, but they still faced many soldiers blocking their path. As they fought back, Samantha suddenly became distracted. In reality, Nolan Sorrento had learned she was still inside the company and began looking for her. Knowing she would surely die if found by Nolan Sorrento, Wade had no choice but to shoot her to ensure her safety. After going offline, Samantha managed to escape from prison. Meanwhile, Wade threw a grenade, which exploded and cleared all obstacles. He finally reached the gaming console, but he was too late. The IOI personnel had already successfully completed the game. However, they fell into a glacier. Wade believed that the essence of the game was not about winning or losing, but about enjoying the process. At this point, Nolan Sorrento reappeared, offering Wade a lucrative deal, $50 million if he successfully completed the game and retrieved the key. But at this stage, no amount of money could sway him. Seeing that Wade refused to comply, Nolan Sorrento used the device destructor, which obliterated all players in the OASIS. The explosion reset the OASIS to its pre-liberation state, erasing even the leaderboard, and Nolan Sorrento walked out of his office satisfied, thinking he had completely destroyed the game. Unbeknownst to him, Wade survived. He pulled out a coin given by the curator from his pocket, which turned out to be a rare resurrection coin. Wade's name reappeared on the leaderboard. He rebooted the game and entered a hidden level, where he began to enjoy the game and eventually succeeded in completing it. After the console sank into the glacier, Halliday reappeared, and Wade successfully obtained the final key. In the real world, Nolan Sorrento had found their vehicle and kept ramming it. Wade, holding the key, shakily inserted it into the lock, and the door opened instantly. Halliday told Wade that by signing a contract, he would gain control of the OASIS, but when he picked up the pen, he hesitated because this was not what Halliday wanted. Realizing it was a test, Wade threw away the pen. Halliday then returned to his real appearance, and the scene switched back to Halliday's room, the place where he grew up. He told Wade there was a red switch behind him that, if pressed, would shut down the entire OASIS. At that moment, in reality, Nolan Sorrento successfully intercepted the vehicle. When he opened the door, Halliday had already handed the Easter egg to Wade. Seeing the glowing Easter egg in Wade's hand, Nolan Sorrento knew he had lost completely. The police soon arrived and arrested Nolan Sorrento and his accomplices. The game's other partner, Morrow, also arrived on the scene, bringing a real-world contract. Wade took the contract and chose to share it with his teammates, deciding to co-manage the OASIS together. At the end of the story, Morrow tossed a coin to Wade, who then realized that Morrow was the curator. After Wade took over the OASIS, he not only banned IOI from logging into the game but also decided to shut down the OASIS 2 days a week because the real world was worth experiencing. If you had the chance to experience the OASIS, what kind of character would you choose to explore this virtual world? Feel free to leave a comment below. I'm a movie enthusiast. See you next time.